Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man tamassaka bi sunnatihi ila yawm ad-din. Amma ba'd. Forgive me, I'm out exercising again today once again. But I wanted to I hit another area, where I used to live at. This was my dad's house, now my brother's house. And I remember I was driving past here, and I remember when I first accepted Islam that I was struggling, and I was still smoking weed and drinking and hanging out and partying. And I remember one day I was living here with my dad, and we were out here on this porch where I'm sitting at the moment, and I was with a bunch of my friends, and we was all out here on this porch. And on this porch we were smoking weed and drinking and having fun. And I was a Muslim at the time, subhanallah, Allah forgive me. But here on this porch, I was looking out from this porch. We didn't have this big tree here like this, fully grown. It was a little tree back then. But I was looking out here towards the sky, and I remember, it was about 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And as I was looking out towards the sky, I was thinking about the story of Ibrahim and his people when he was with his people, and he was saying, looking at the sun, the moon, and the stars, and he was saying, verily, this is my Lord. And when it was overcame with the other, he was said, verily, my Lord cannot be overcome by anything, and my Lord is the creator of all of those things. And I was sitting here, looking at the moon, and I remember, being high and drunk while looking at the moon. And I remember thinking to myself about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and reflecting upon the story, and reflecting upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and thinking, how much longer would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me before he destroys me, before he allows me to be completely destroyed while, living this lifestyle of drinking and smoking and, thinking that I'm enjoying myself. And it was right here on this porch, man, that I was having this reflection. And at that moment, the light bulb went off in my head, and I told everybody, you got to get up and get out. You have to leave. And they were like, why are you tripping? Why, what's wrong with you? You get high, you get drunk, and now you don't know how to act. And I said, this is the first time in my life that I've ever thought clearly that, that things have become crystal clear to me, and I know that I need to change my life. You guys got to go. And it was at this moment that I put on that life preserver, and I jumped into that water of Islam. I jumped into that ocean of Islam. I jumped into that ocean of the Quran and the Sunnah so that I can be saved. And I reached my hand out, to that ship, the Safina, kama قال العلماء سفينة نوح, the ship of Nuh that was there to save humanity. And the ship of Nuh for us is the Quran and the Sunnah upon the understanding of the Salaf al-Salih. And I jumped upon that ship, and when I jumped upon that ship, I found beauty like no other beauty. I found patience like no other patience. I found tranquility like no other tranquility. And that was the tranquility of the Quran and Sunnah that changed and saved my life. And it happened right here on this porch. And I titled this a powerful reflection because truly, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, that indeed in the remembrance of Allah do the hearts find rest and tranquility. And it was in that remembrance, sitting here on this porch of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, thinking, contemplating upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that I was able to change my life in that very instance, in that very moment. And it was here when I made that change from being a Muslim who was involved still in drugs and evil behavior to being a Muslim who wanted to submit themselves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I thought that I would share that powerful moment with you and allow you to understand the power of reflection, the power of contemplation, the power of thinking deeply about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when one thinks deeply about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and one gains that spiritual consciousness, that one changes for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a powerful thing, and that power is something that I can testify to, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala changed my life just by simply reflecting upon him, simply thinking about him. And it allowed me to go from negativity to positivity. So my beloved brothers and sisters, always reflect upon Allah, because reflection on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings about powerful change in your lives. Change your life. You can do it. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.